Yo, too, welcome back to the channel, man. It's your favorite reactor's favorite reactor, man, and I'm back with yet another reaction video. Making sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're gonna get into the topic of the Micheal movie, man. Anybody who went to see the Micheal movie, man, leave it in the comments, man. What did you think about the Micheal movie? You feel me? What did you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? If you've seen all the other Micheal movies, then it's kind of like you seen one, you seen them all. I recently just went to go see it. I think it was Sunday. I had went to go see the movie, and it really was a good movie. I've seen the Micheal movie, the Jackson 5 movie, and I also seen a little Broadway show that they do in New York that gives you kind of like a little breakdown of kind of what was going on. I expected a little bit more from this movie. Because we're in 2026 right now. Rest in peace to Michael Jackson, by the way. He passed away in like 2005. I forgot what it was from though. I don't know if it was like I don't know what it was from though, but from like an overdose or something like that. But while watching the movie, I noticed, and I remember telling my girl this while we was in the joint. I'm like, yo, they're skipping so many parts. Like, this movie is gonna be short. They're literally just jumping scenes though. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. And it's still kind of crazy, and it speaks to the legacy of Michael Jackson, right? For us to be still talking about Michael Jackson in 2026, it's crazy, right? That's how iconic and revolutionary that Michael Jackson was, man. You see the movie and you don't get inspired to be the best version of yourself every day, to push the envelope every single day, to wake up every single day and go get it and be iconic and be legendary. He was just a normal person like me and you. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in front of this camera right now. One day I will be legendary. One day I will be the best. One day I will be bigger than DJ Academics. If I continue to put the work in, if I believe in myself. That's all Michael did. But there is some scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? Some people are saying that, and I didn't know this, but my grandma actually told me about this not so long ago, right? And while watching the movie, I didn't even notice that Janet Jackson never appeared in any scene of the movie. And so today we're gonna get into the research. And it's not a lot. It's not a lot of information out there. There's a lot of theories that she was maybe jealous, not necessarily jealous of, well, just in disagreeing with the nephew. I've come to realize that it wasn't. I seen that some of the articles that I read that she actually also praised his performance. She thought he did a good if we're talking about performative arts, she felt like he did a good job in it, right? I think that she had a issue with how they portrayed her brother, and she didn't want no parts. She said, I don't want none of my likeliness involved into this movie. So that's why we never seen the little sister that he was, the closest sibling that he was to, not in the movie. Now, there is also some people saying that, hey, this movie is about Michael. Janet is also a big star. A lot of people, and we're going to see some of the videos, right? A lot of people, because I didn't catch it. You know what I mean? That was like kind of, not before my time, but I wasn't really too much indulged into the Michael Jackson thing back in 2005 like that. Or even in his prime. I think he was like 50 when he died in 2005. And I was, you know what I'm saying, legit still. You know what I'm saying? So, come to find out, that is one of his not favorite siblings. Of course, you love all your brothers and sisters, but she was more so like him. You know what I mean? They kind of was more identical. They kind of act the same, kind of had the same little talk, nose, and everything. They got along better. You know, it's just some siblings you get along with, I guess, when you got 4 or 5 brothers. You only got, you know what I'm saying, sister. His kids was never in the movie. They kind of cut it off at his peak point. His bad tour that he went on when he was really starting to like peak out and branch away from the Jackson 5 thing. Also, notable person that was missing out of the movie that they say was Diana Ross, one of his biggest mentors that he had that helped him out with his becoming a star. I think his first album was called like Diana Ross Found Michael Jackson or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, bro. Like I said, it was about my time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, key parts, but still a good movie. I'll probably rate it like a 7 out of 10. Like I said, if you're going to bring that back into 2026, not saying you should highlight all the legal cases or all the mental issues that he had or the Never Never Land getting raided and things like that. But if we're going to do it, let's do it. Let's push the envelope. That's what Michael would have wanted, in my opinion. Let's push the envelope. Let's make this the biggest thing ever, and let's not leave holes in it. And they're kind of saying that Janet Jackson didn't agree with it, and then that Jermaine agreed with it. And they said they felt like Jermaine had, because it's Jermaine's son that's playing Michael. It's his nephew. So they saying Jermaine had hidden agendas on basically like using this opportunity to push his son further in his acting career, which you can't really knock. But if the little sister is not in agreement with it, why can't we come on the same page? She ain't even been to none of the rollouts or anything. But let's get into it. I don't want to be short-winded, man. Let's listen to a couple people talk.
Why Janet Jackson is completely missing from the Michael Jackson biopic, and it's a sign of a much larger issue with the movie. Janet Jackson was not only born in 1966, 2 years before the movie begins, but she was also releasing music throughout the 80s. So where is she? Janet Jackson has made it explicitly clear that she wanted no part in this movie. Not only did she ask the Jackson family not to include her in the film, but she's been noticeably absent from every red carpet, movie screening, and press junket related to the film, and it's kind of easy to see why. The Jackson estate and many of his other relatives aren't just characters in this movie, they're executive producers on the film, which means that not only do they benefit from a box office success of a polished, mythologized, audience-friendly version of Michael's life, but they directly profit from the uptick in album sales and music streams that will come as a result of this film. And Janet Jackson is probably one of the only family members who is not financially dependent on Michael's legacy because she had her own successful solo career. And although she stated that she's
that is a thing that you will see in the movie too. You'll kind of see the fact that a lot of the brothers, Tito, Jermaine, all of them, they were the dad. The dad really was. They all was kind of dependent on Michael to be. That's why they had that final tour he had when he burned his hair and stuff like that. That was his dad trying to force him to be in a Pepsi tour. That Pepsi was. It was supposed to be started with a Pepsi commercial, and then they was gonna go on like a Pepsi sponsored tour or whatnot like that. In order to find that, because the family the family literally depended on them though. In the movie, I mean, if you want to be great, if you feel like stepping away from your family member is gonna make you great, then I get it. You know what I'm saying? I can't really be myself without me detaching myself from my family. Then I understand that too. You dig what I'm saying? But I think his dad put a lot of overwhelming pressure on him, and not necessarily pressure, but just stuff that he didn't want to do. He wasn't in agreement with his father, so he detached himself from his family, and that they couldn't financially sustain themselves. And it looks like it's still trickling down in 2026. You guys are not. This movie right here seems like it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It is a good movie. But it could be better. It could be better. You know, like, I understand if you want to leave Janet out there because you feel like she's not gonna take up the spotlight of Michael Jackson though, bro. Like, she's a star in her own right, but we're talking about Michael Jackson now.
Supportive of her nephew Jafar Jackson, and maybe you could argue that she just didn't want to play a side character in another artist's movie. It's easy to speculate how Janet could be upset with how her brother is portrayed in the film, because Michael Jackson was a revolutionary and constantly pushed the envelope, and he probably would have hated that a movie about his life plays it so incredibly safe. There's a major reason why Janet Jackson is completely missing from.
I mean, they say she was the closest sibling to him, so who's to say she don't know him better than anybody else? And she probably would have thought, hey, Michael wouldn't have liked this either. Michael wouldn't have been in the grid. It's not big enough. Granted, it's big enough because of my name, but it's not big enough. It's not big enough. It's the acting was so-so. The acting was so-so. It just wasn't big enough. Look how this is an old throwback movie of him when they bring up Janet Jackson's name.
Like the big music awards and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And your little sister's been on a few.
Oh yeah.
She's a funky little sister.
She is.
She's amazing.
Okay, comment below if you went and saw the Michael Jackson movie recently. I saw it last night, and there were some things I thought they missed in the movie. And like this interview mentions, Janet Jackson, there was no sign of her in the movie. Her character was not there. I don't even know if she was in any extra scenes in the movie.
Imagine you being a kid in this day and age, right? You don't really know who Michael Jackson is. Like, you might have heard of him. Your parents is probably more so going to tell you who he is. But then you realize, you look at the movie and you're like, oh, it was only 4 brothers. Tito, Jermaine. 4 brothers and then Mike. So 5 brothers. There was no females. And knowing that he has like a big time sister, like Janet Jackson, like How could you leave that out of a movie though? Man, because it's how do you do it over? You can't. They will never be able to do it over again because they're at odds. So now you just missed the opportunity. You missed a moment to have her in the movie because you wanted to push the movie so bad to have your son. That's what it almost seems like. They just was they wasn't in agreement. They said she was cool with his performance. They said she literally watched the movie and had notes about every scene in the movie, and they just kind of ignored it and pushed the movie out on its own. That's not okay. That's not okay. Let's get into this last clip.
Janet Jackson is noticeably absent from the new Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, and the movie makes it like she doesn't even exist, and not all the siblings are a part of the film. And I looked into this because I thought it was very strange, and to be honest with you, a little bit distracting for me while I watched the movie. I did not know that Janet said no to her likeness being used in this film. When I went to see it, I just kept being like, when is Janet gonna show up? Where's Janet? Is she in this movie? And she is not. And like I said, it's like she doesn't even exist, which is kind of crazy because she is so wildly famous as part of this family. And I know, I heard what some of you have said. It's about Michael. We don't need Janet in there. I get it. But this movie is causing such family drama between all of the members of the family. Either they're an executive producer on this film or they wanted nothing to do with it. How divisive. And my question is, I wonder, is this because of the original draft that included the abuse allegations against Michael that this family did not want to sign off on being used in this film because they didn't like the way it was portrayed? We'll never know. I'll never know the answer. Now, there were some rumors that circulated saying that Janet watched a screening of the movie. She had notes for every scene and that she just didn't like anything about it. But that wouldn't make any sense because she either signed off on her likeness being used or she didn't. And she was never a part of it. So why would she go watch the screening and have all these notes after she already didn't want to be a part of it to begin with? It seems like she didn't like it at all. Now, allegedly,
Just because she didn't want to be a part of it doesn't mean she can't be critical of the movie. Look, we're brothers and we're sisters. I don't want y'all using my likeliness because I see what y'all are already kind of doing with it. But at least let's get it right because this is a huge moment. The way the movie ended seems like it's going to be a part two. But you've already kind of tackled the main portion of the movie was based upon like the performance and his rise to fame. The only thing that you could attack in the next go around is kind of the negativity and how he kind of like navigated his way, because y'all had the Neverland, like y'all had the Neverland, y'all had like a little part in there. Y'all highlighted it, you know. But that was a negative part of his legacy. So I don't know if how far deep you're gonna go into it. Who knows if there's gonna be a part two? If there's gonna be a part two, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's sad because they're all getting so far up in age that health and just father time is catching up to them, and to be divided on something like this, when you have such a legendary brother, and that you guys have kind of been profiting off of, besides Janet, of course, for the entirety of this time. Like she said, you're either executive producers or you're not involved in it at all. So it's kind of like you guys are like, yo, we're going to be as hands-on, or y'all going to let us direct this whole thing, or we're not going to do it at all. Like, and I don't know, man. It's a sad situation. Like I said, y'all probably missed a big moment. And who knows? Maybe somebody will spin a block and do a part two and that they can agree on. But yeah, man, it sucks though. But if you enjoyed the movie, I enjoyed the movie. Will I be spinning the block and watch it again? No. I probably wouldn't be watching it again. Like I said, I'll probably watch one of the Broadway shows again because, like I said, if you're going to do a movie and stick it in the screens, you got to do... I'm talking about, they literally was... I mean, you only got like 2.5 hours though, I guess. But shout out to y'all, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hope I didn't ruin the movie for none of you guys, because that's not my intentions. I'm telling you guys, go watch the movie. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, just because the point in my life, I've seen like the Jackson 5s, I've seen like the little biopics, I've seen like Like I said, I've seen a Broadway show from the small to the. I've seen most of this though. You know what I'm saying? I could foresee it coming already within the movie, so I kind of wanted a little bit more from it. But if you're just surface level, kind of like just a huge Michael fan, there were people in there. Michael Jackson was phenomenal, though. You know what I mean? We'll never have another Michael Jackson. Ever, 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 bro. Ever, ever, ever. I mean, females fainting just because they can't even believe that they're standing next to somebody. And he kept his mystique. He wasn't always out in the public. He wasn't always in drama a lot. He was always like a kind-hearted, nice person. And he just wanted to be the best. And I'm always side with somebody that want to be the best. Because I want to be the best. So let's be the best. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. I'll see y'all in the next video.